Hey, do you own a construction business, specifically a custom home building or remodeling business, and you want to get out of estimating because it's time consuming? Maybe you hate it or you're not that great at it, or both. Maybe you'd like to work on your business and grow it. Maybe you're tired of the emotional roller coaster. If you feel like an overpaid estimator, in this video, I'm going to show you how to get out of estimating. And be sure to stick around until the end. I'm going to show you how you can download this entire playbook, and we're going to talk about the 5-step process that you can follow to get out of estimating. Who am I? My name is Todd Dawalt. I'm the founder of ConstructionLeadingEdge.com. We help remodelers and home builders systematize their business. You can check out some of our customers talking about their results on the results tab over at ConstructionLeadingEdge.com. I also host the Construction Leading Edge podcast, which has been around since 2014, and it's been downloaded about 2 million times. Here are some of the ratings, most of which are positive. You can check that out. And let's get to it. How to get out of estimating. So the first question is, why do you want to get out of estimating? Maybe you love it. If you love estimating, then you should probably skip this video and go watch something else. But if you feel like estimating is time-consuming, if you feel like you're not good at it, or you just hate estimating, if you procrastinate doing estimates, especially if you're doing free estimates, I'm going to show you how and why you need to stop doing that. If you feel like your business, this is a good one, maybe you realize that your business is designed to fail without you because you do all of the sales and estimating. So if you were incapacitated for a couple of weeks or a month, your business would fail. If you wanted to go away for 2 weeks, maybe your business would fail. Or worst case, if you died, something happened to you, your business would just dissolve because it's designed to fail without you. And maybe you're thinking, you know what, if somebody else who actually liked estimating and was good at this stuff was 100% dedicated to estimating, maybe I could grow the business. Maybe they would do a better job. So let's jump into it. Here's the 5-step process. Step 1, you've got to solve your head trash. We'll talk about that. Step 2, you need to stop doing one specific thing and start doing something else. Number 3, you need to nail the handoff. Number 4 is to design the role that you want to hire for. And then step number 5 is to answer the question, WWIT. WWIT. We'll get to that. So let's get to it. And again, stick around until the end. I'll show you how you can download this entire playbook for free. So step 1 is you need to solve your head trash, right? And when I say head trash, I'm talking about myths and misconceptions. There are a lot of things you may believe that are not true, like hiring more people equals more headaches. That is a myth. You may believe nobody can do it like me. I'm the best. I have to be the best. I have to be the only. If you believe that, you're stuck. Maybe you believe you can't afford to hire somebody, or you're afraid that you can't afford to hire somebody. We'll run through some math in just a minute. Maybe you think, you know what, I've tried before and it didn't work. Well, it's very possible that you did it wrong. And then there are lots of what-if questions. What if I hire this person and I have to lay them off? What if I have to... what if I hire them and they become better than me? What if I hire somebody and then fill in the blank? Whatever. Just lots of irrational fears based on speculation. So you've got to get over these myths and misconceptions. And here's the reality. We've worked with hundreds of builders and remodelers to systematize their business. And here's the reality. These are the facts. The right people equal less headaches and stress for you. There are actually people out there who can do it better than you. It's very likely that you can't afford not to hire someone, that it's costing you to stay stuck in estimating. The right person is an investment that will generate profit. Not only will you break even on the right person, they will actually be profitable for you. And it's very likely that if you tried it before and it didn't work, it's possible and likely that it didn't work because of you. So how can they be an investment? So let's look at a current situation here. It's very possible that you're dealing with profit bleeds, right? So even a small business, say, doing $1 to $1.5 million in revenue a year, could be looking at profit bleeds in the neighborhood of a lot of money. So rework could be $2,000 a month. Giveaways where you're doing work for free could be $2,000 a month. Lost productivity, if you have people on your crew, could be $1,700 a month. Cost of schedule delays could easily get to $1,000 a month. Wasted materials, $1,500 a month. So when you do the math, that's $8,200 a month. That's $98,000 a year of profit bleeds. $98,000 of profit that is bleeding out, either through death by 1,000 paper cuts, or it could be one or two big profit bleeds. Now, with the right estimator, if you hire someone who does a better job at estimating, who's completely dedicated to pre-construction and estimating, they're going to make fewer mistakes. So let's say with the right estimator, you can reduce those profit bleeds by 50%. You could say 49 grand. Then where it gets really interesting is answer the question, what would you do with that additional time? What if you could go sell? Let's say you could do an additional $1 million in sales at 20% gross. That's $200,000 of gross profit. So the total upside to you getting out of estimating is somewhere in the neighborhood of $250,000 a year. So do you think you could hire somebody with $250,000 a year? Even if you cut those numbers in half, with $125 grand a year, do you think you could hire somebody to take care of estimating? And here's really the question to think about: how much is it costing you to be stuck in estimating? There is an opportunity cost because you're stuck doing something that somebody else could do. How much is that costing? So step number one, you got to get over that head trash. You have to solve your head trash. Step number two is you have to stop free estimates and start getting paid for estimates. Okay? I'm not going to go into depth on this. I have other videos. And in fact, you can get an entire Get Paid for Estimates masterclass by clicking on this link, constructionleadingedge.com/start. But let me just paint a picture for you. When you get paid for estimates, you will have more time to work on your business because you're spending less time doing free estimates, spending 8, 24, 40 hours working on an estimate that doesn't go anywhere and not getting paid. So you will automatically have more time. You will eliminate profit bleeds caused by free estimates and the JETS trap, which I'll talk about in just a few minutes. When you get paid for estimates, you eliminate those profit bleeds and you eliminate the JETS trap. And not only will you stop the bleeding, but pre-construction can become a profit center for you. You can actually make profit through pre-construction. So let's look at an example of how these numbers work. Say you run a small business, your annual revenue is $1 million a year. And just to be clear, this only applies to remodeling companies, custom home builders, and maybe people doing design build work. If you're a trade contractor, if you're a big commercial GC, this is probably not going to work for you. But if you do remodeling, additions, custom home building, exterior, hardscapes, pools, decks, this will work for you. So if you're doing $1 million in revenue, let's say your average contract amount's about $100,000. So you're doing about 10 projects a year. If you get paid for pre-construction, let's say you get paid for 12 pre-construction agreements a year. You sell one per month. That average pre-construction agreement fee on the low end is $5,000. That's $60,000 of pre-construction fees you can collect per year, very conservative. So when you add that number to this number, you can see why hiring someone, the right person, is an investment that will generate profit for you. Again, if you want to get paid for estimates, click on this link. Go get our entire Get Paid for Estimates masterclass. All right, step number 3 is you have to nail the handoff. Okay, you have to nail the handoff. If you want to get out of estimating, this is crucial. Here's what the old way looks like. The old way is we do just enough pre-construction work to get started, and then we start construction. And where there's overlap between what should be pre-construction and construction, we have chaos. Chaos like, oh, we still need to apply for this permit. Hey, Mr. or Mrs. Customer, you need to make your selections. You're figuring out utilities. Maybe you're still doing design work during construction. You're dealing with architects and engineering during construction. You're managing this tornado of changes. You're purchasing, meaning you're selecting subcontractors, sourcing materials, buying out the project during construction, negotiating, probably not managing risk, trying to manage the budget. This is the just enough to start trap. Doing just enough pre-construction to get started, saying we'll figure out the rest later, and then you end up with this chaos. All right? Here's the new way of doing this. Have a well-defined pre-construction process, and then there's a gap before you start construction, and then in between you nail the handoff, okay? So what this process looks like, 3-step process: nail the handoff process with your team, create your "this is how we do it" document, so you have a documented pre-construction process. And then for bonus points, build it into your project management software like CoConstruct, Buildertrend, or JobTrend, okay? So just like an Olympic relay race, a construction project is a series of handoffs, and it's crucial that you hand off accountability and information to the next person. And what you want to do is give your field team everything they need to finish instead of just enough to start, okay? Here's the deal. Successful construction companies are actually great pre-construction companies. If you think about a company that's scaling and they're profitable and they're growing, it's very likely that they are a great pre-construction company. You just don't see it. When you nail the handoff, you'll have a clearly defined pre-construction process to give your field crews everything they need to finish instead of just enough to start. The process is documented. This way you get it out of your head into a more accessible format, and you can actually hold people accountable. And as I mentioned, bonus points. Build this into your project management software so it does the automatic remembering and the reminding to your team. And then you can actually use your pre-construction process as a sales tool. You can take it to prospective clients to get paid for estimates and say, this is what you're going to get when you work for us, because this is how we do it. So nail the handoff is step number 3. Now we can start step number 4, which is to design the role of your estimating or pre-construction job. Now you can actually start to design it because we have a documented process. So the questions you want to ask would be, what are the results they're accountable for? What are the results you really want them to achieve? Start with this. A lot of people just jump right into a job description, or they go on Indeed and copy and paste a job description. That's a big mistake. That's a pretty good reason why it hasn't worked for you in the past. So start with, what are the results you want? And then ask a question, what's their big 5? And this is a concept we teach our clients. The big 5 for a role, every role should have a big 5. And the big 5 are the activities that are measurable leading indicators of success. What are the measurable leading indicators of success for this role? For example, for someone who is an estimator or a pre-construction manager, an example of a big 5 activity would be to complete the project handoff meeting 14 days before the start of construction. It's specific, it's measurable, it drives the results that you want. Another example would be every Monday morning at 9 p.m., you submit the updated bid opportunity report showing all of the bids that you're looking at. That is a lead domino or a leading indicator of success. And if you want to put some results to it, if you're getting paid for estimates, you could say, look, one of your big 5 activities is to sell $6,000 of pre-construction services every month. Make them accountable for that. And then once you are clear on the results and you have some specific big 5 activities that you can measure and hold them accountable to, it's time to design your accountability chart. And this is a big step that people miss when they put together a role, and it's a big mistake. So when you design your accountability chart, you want clearly defined roles and responsibilities for everybody on your team. Because when we hire somebody, they're not just on an island, they're interacting with other people on the team. So we need to see how their responsibilities interact with everybody else. So what are their clearly defined roles and responsibilities? Who is accountable for what results? And then here's a question. What do you, the business owner, want to get out of So here's an example of an accountability chart, a pretty common accountability chart for a remodeling or custom home building business. We have the integrator or the owner, and then we have 4 major functions of the business: sales and marketing, pre-construction, operations, and then finance and admin. That's how you clarify roles and responsibilities. All right, that's step number 4. Step number 5 is to answer the question, WWIT, what would it take? What would it take to make this work? You have some financial realities you have to operate within. So my advice is to think right to left. Think right to left. So what that means is start over on the right side of the page, the outcomes you want, net profit. What is your net profit target per year, per month? What is your gross profit? How much gross profit do you need to generate in order to create that much net profit? How much revenue will it take to create that gross profit? How much sales do you need to generate? How many opportunities do you need in order to generate those sales? And then how many leads do you need to generate those opportunities? So when you work left to right through this, we need X number of leads in order to create Y number of opportunities. We need a certain dollar amount of sales to generate a certain amount of revenue each month, which will create a certain amount of gross profit, which will yield the net profits that we're looking for. Okay? So think right to left. Financial questions would be, what's your net profit target? What will your total overhead cost be with the new hire? How much gross profit would it take to cover that overhead and generate the net profit that we need? And then how much revenue will it take to create that gross profit? That's operating from right to left. And then from a sales and marketing standpoint, what's your sales target? How much do you need to sell every year in order to hit your revenue target? How many sales would that take? And then again, working right to left, what's your conversion rate from sales to opportunities? How many opportunities would that take? And then how many leads do you need? Becomes very systematic, very systematized. So our clients use our tool, which is called the Revenue Maximizer. And what this allows them to do is forecast. This shows 6 months. They can forecast up to 12 months out and establish what their monthly gross profit would be, what their cost of goods will be, what their overhead and indirect expenses will be, and they can set revenue targets for each project and set sales targets, which is operating from right to left. So that's step 5. Answer the question, what would it take from a financial standpoint and a sales and marketing standpoint? All right, so there's the 5-step process. Let's recap. 5-step process. Number 1, solve your head trash. Number 2, stop giving away free estimates and start getting paid for estimates. Number 3, step 3 is nail the handoff. Step 4 is to design the role. Step 5 is to answer the question, what would it take? So where do you go from here? A couple of options. Option 1 would be download this Get Out of Estimating Playbook by going to this link, constructionleadingedge.com/GOE Playbook. And you can download that. This link will also be in the comments below this video. And if you want my team, the Construction Leading Edge team, to guide you through this process of systematizing your construction business so that you can get out of estimating or get out of day-to-day operations, the first step would be to schedule your business evaluation call by clicking this link, constructionleadingedge.com/apply, APPLY. If you got some value out of this video, please hit subscribe. If you have questions, put them in the comments, and be sure to check out the Construction Leading Edge podcast. My name is Todd Dawalt, spelled D-A-W-A-L-T. We'll talk soon.